Alrighty, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Season 3, Episode 35 of Hit the Books, podcast all about sports betting, the best bets you should be taking in everything surrounding sports. We are right smack in the middle of the first round of the NHL and NBA playoffs. We're ready to dissect all those series. Light news out of the rest of the leagues this week, but without further ado, let's jump in and introduce my co-hosts who join me each and every week, Huff, Ace, and Mackie. Mackie, let's start off with you this week. What do you got for me?
Yeah, not much. Obviously, NHL playoffs have started. NBA playoffs have also started, so we're all underway there. Rangers look good. Can't complain. Aces Bruins not doing too bad over there as well. So a lot to talk about in the sports world. NFL draft tomorrow. That's all I really
Heck
got.
yeah. Good stuff. Ace, you're up next. What do you got for us? Another week here.
Yeah, Mackie said it best. This is like my favorite time of the year. My blood is boiling. We have a game 3 against the Toronto Maple Leafs just under an hour away. So excited for that. We expected a long one. That's going to be a great one. Mackie's Rangers doing his thing. We knew that was going to happen. Our basketball team's doing their thing as well, so that's great to see. MLB's picking up. But yeah, ready to get going. Talk about some great sports here.
Alrighty, Huff, finish it off here for us. What do you got for us here this week?
Yeah, I definitely have a lot of favorite weeks in the sports calendar. This definitely being one of them. Obviously, March Madness, Week 1 of the NFL, Wild Card Weekend in the NFL. It's hard to beat the first round of the NHL playoffs. These games have absolutely lived up to it. Obviously, out east, we have a couple of 2-0 series leads. Ace, your Bruins in a 1-1 battle, but the West, some of these games have been absolute true, just like gauntlets. That game 1 between Winnipeg and the Avalanche. That's shaping up to be a nice series, but game 1 of Vegas, Dallas, that's another great game series that we had a hell of a game 1. So it's been a great first round so far, and I'm excited to keep watching these games. Obviously, same with the NBA, NFL draft tomorrow, like Mackie said. So exciting time in the sports year.
Heck yeah, Huff. Lots of good stuff. The NFL draft, like you said, tomorrow. Make sure to check us out as we go live for the first few picks, giving you live reactions and all of that. But lots of good stuff, boys, heading into this week. Like I said, we're right in the middle of the first round of the NHL and NBA playoffs. MLB is in full swing, and some offseason news in the NFL to get us going here this week. Let's start it off here in the NHL, starting out with these Eastern Conference series here. Mackie, your New York Rangers and the Capitals battling it out right now. 2-0, the Rangers are up in that series. What do you have coming out of that series? Excuse me. We know what you have coming out of that series. What do you like so far in this series? How your bet's been? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, they fucked me last night. Excuse my language, but they fucked me on the fucking puck line last night.
Excuse his language.
Every single time the Rangers they have the empty net open and they need them to cover 1.5, they never ever do it. It's actually insane. But other than that, just taking care of business. It is what it should be at this point. We're up 2-0. We won our 2 games at home. I think we should sweep this series. I could see them maybe win one. We kind of looked a little weak last game, but it was enough to beat the Caps. I'm gonna call a sweep here. I think the Rangers end up winning this 1-4.
Yeah, Mackie, I'll say it for you. There isn't much to say about this series. It's going exactly as we expected. I think there might have been hints of a President's Trophy curse if you got Huff and Jesse's Yinzers, those Penguins. I still don't think so. I think they would have dealt with them in 5 as well. But this Rangers team is primed to make it to the second round, primed to make it to probably the Eastern Conference Finals. Maybe we'll see who they get. But they're just outmatching this Capitals team, who's happy to be here. A lot of people are saying that. I haven't seen any Capitals fans saying they think they should even hang in this series. Guys like Connor McMichael, excited to see him. Dylan Strome, but those old legs, Mackie, we were talking about it before this pod started. They just don't have any juice left in them, and you guys are a powerhouse, top team in the NHL for a reason. So I think it's 4, maybe 5, but yeah, I could see a sweep here as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think I did say the Rangers were going to sweep this series, and obviously they're what they have yesterday, Mackie, 2 power play goals and a shorthanded or a 3, or was it 3 power play goals?
2 power play goals, but that's the story of their season too. I mean,
yeah, but like when their special teams is going like that, especially on home ice, you got to think they're going to go back to Washington. I mean, even say Washington wins game 3. I don't see a scenario where they even can sniff winning 2. I don't even think they're going to win 1. This series is over in 5 at max, but I still like the Rangers to finish this out.
You don't think they're going to be rocking the red down in D.C.? I mean, the only thing they're going to be hyped about is maybe an Ovechkin goal if they find him on that power play.
He has 1 shot through 2 games. Like, he's been non-existent.
Has they been on the power play?
Yeah,
Yeah, they've
sad
had
to
a few
see.
power plays. They had a power play goal, but it was a broken, like it wasn't like a
He's
setup
probably
play.
he's probably saving him for next year though, so he can retire after that.
I don't even think he wants to be there anymore. He's like, all right, I don't want to play any extra games than I actually need to.
It literally looks like he's like, fuck it, we're
He's
already
only
cooked.
in the league
Like,
for one reason, and everyone knows that. He's like, we're not winning a cup this year. Why am I playing these games when we're just getting smoked every
Let us
week?
just remind you, minus 37 plus a goal differential heading into the playoffs. We didn't expect anything. I think all of us have the Rangers in the first round of the brackets we posted. Am I wrong? Yeah, let's quit talking about this. We'll have a lot of Rangers talk when they're in a great series next round with the Canes.
Good stuff. Yeah, Canes and Islanders up next here. The Hurricanes leading that series 2-0. Anybody got some good insight on this one?
I think I also said Carolina in 4 in this one. I called 2 sweeps in the East. Both of them get a 2-0 series lead defending their home ice. It just looks like the Islanders, especially, I mean, you go up 3-0 in Carolina, you got to think, oh, this might be the game we're going to steal. Go back to the island, turn the home ice back to the Islanders. And the Hurricanes just showed that they're one of, if not the best team that's buzzing right now offensively. They're scoring goals. What was it, 4 in the third or 3 in the third? They came back from that 3-0 lead, win the game 5-3. Ace made the point. They still end up covering after being down 3-0. I was big on them to score first that game. They obviously can't score the first goal. They come back and score 5 for 5 straight to win on that Carolina Edmonton bet that we gave out the other night. So they're definitely buzzing on all cylinders, and it's for good reason. They're a good team.
Yeah, and your boy Jake Guntel just dragging his nuts across the Islanders' face with that empty net goal tally, and then kind of beating up everybody on the way through, tripping them. They're just so deep, that Canes team. Frederick Anderson does scare me though. Mackie, I know you're probably watching this series a little bit with a close eye, waiting for those Canes in the next round, and he hasn't looked up to par so far, and he's their best option in the net. So if there's one deficiency, they also got Ilya Sorokin coming back to start Game 3. I don't know why you wouldn't start him in Game 1. I know Varlamov was hot and Sorokin was cold, and he's the one who got you the playoffs, yada, yada. It's Ilya Sorokin, one of the top goaltenders in the NHL. Put him in the net in the playoffs. Maybe that turns the tide. Maybe they could have held on to a 3-0 lead, but that's crazy to see. They needed to win that game where they put up 3 on the Canes to start the game. They didn't. I would be surprised if they even win 1. I think I have the Canes in 5.
Going to Sorokin, do they have a chance?
I think they get 1. They're going to split in New York. I think they get 1, and then they go back and win it in Carolina, 4-1 series. That's what I have it in our bracket. I think it's going to stay that way.
I wish it showed on the bracket how many games you picked it in.
You can
thought
go.
it does.
You can go look at it.
You have to go look at it.
Yeah, you can't
but-
see it. I know what you're saying though.
I'm not.
I wish it said like Canes with a little number 7 or something, or you know what I mean, a 5. if you picked it in
So
5.
quick
like,
glance. So it was on our Instagram, so people could say.
I wanted it to be on the post. Yeah.
I think the only reason they do that is just so competitors can't copy
looks-
your picks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not counting these Isles out like you guys are. I mean, I kind of thought they were going to win last game because the first game they played pretty well and they were in it the entire time. One lucky bounce goes Canes' way and they win the game. But I mean, they were up 3-0 last game. They can do it. This roster's kind of there. I'm not going to say that they should have won that game last night because they lost 18 or 19-1 in shots in the third period. But I mean, if they could just put the pieces together, Patrick Waugh has them good. They're 8-0-2 or 8-1-1 down the stretch, and then they come in. They played a good first game, lousy third period in the second game, and they blow it. But I mean, they're going back home. They lost 2 games in Carolina. What does Carolina do in the playoffs? They win games at home and they lose games on the road. I'm not going to say that this series is over yet. I think the Islanders can at least win 2 games in this series. I'm also hoping in that sense, but I wouldn't say this series is over in 4. No way.
I don't think 4. I think they steal 1. Maybe Sorokin throws you a bone, but he hasn't been playing good hockey either. You were talking about the good hockey down the stretch. Is he just going to pull it out of his ass in these 2 games back against the wall?
I don't think the goalies. I don't think Varlamov played bad per se. In this,
But you have
series.
to play
I think
lights
the only
out. You were talking about this Islanders roster being put together well. When you but when you compare it to the Hurricanes roster, that's the super team of the NHL. You can't give them any breaks because they're going to make their own and they're going to capitalize on any you give them. I don't think they have a fighting chance. I think the only way they win 1 game in New York is if Sorokin holds them to 1 or fewer goals.
Okay, but I have a question for you. If they won that last game and it went the same exact way, 19-1 third period shots, they just ended up winning the game. What are you saying now? You don't think the Islanders will win a game going out?
I'm not surprised though. I said this. I said it to you guys the other day in this chat. I was talking about it. Second period, they were out shooting them twofold going into the third. I'm like, they're gonna come back and win this game, and they did. They outshot them. The stat you guys saw online. everywhere, that shot attempt stat, 119-20 or something like that. You're not winning a hockey game. You were lucky to even have 3 goals. That's what it's telling me. They were lucky to be
Yeah,
there.
Ace, that's how I kind of look at it similar. Like my thing is game 1 was a 3-1 game. It's a 1-1
2-1
game
game
going
now,
into the
I think,
first
yeah.
intermission. But that's exactly what I mean. That's the game the Islanders need to win. Obviously, you go up 3-0 in game 2. Like they're definitely they're going to give a fighter's chance. I just think Carolina's showed them they're the better team when it matters, and I think that'll carry on into New York. I think they might win one.
Maybe.
I think this series is over in 5 max.
Agreed, Huff. Agreed completely.
I don't know. The Canes.
But yeah, let's move on to your Bruins, Ace. That's the one that's
This-
obviously 1-1 heading to Toronto tonight before they drop the puck here shortly.
Yeah, here Bruins and Maple Leafs here tied 1-1, the only tied series here in the East as of right now. Ace, what are you thinking? How your Bruins faring so far in this series?
What else did you expect, I guess? I mean, everybody I've seen, Bruins in 6, Leafs in 7, Bruins in 7, everybody has this being an extended series, right? So we're kind of exactly where we wanted to be. I've heard a lot of talk about, oh, you should go with Swayman every game. You should do this. You should do that. Well, they went with the goalie every game last year. They're going to go with a tandem that got him here this year. It's the reigning Vezina, former Vezina. I guess he's technically still the reigning Vezina because they haven't named one yet. You can't keep those two guys out of the lineup, in my opinion. Yes, Swayman has had the Leafs number. He's been very sharp. But I don't want to see what he looks like with no rest. He's been used to this regimen all year. Why switch it up now? It can only lead to bad things. And guess what? If Ullmark happened to lose game 2, which he did, no matter what, it's going back to Swayman in game 3. Here we are. I think it's going to be a long, long series. I wouldn't be surprised if we split up in Toronto. I would like to take 2. That would be awesome, going back up 3-1 back to Boston. But each period, each shift, so important. Teams got to stay out of the box. Nylander being out for the Leafs has been pretty important. Bruins have had all the looks, though. The looks are there. That's why if they can stay out of the box, limit these Leafs chances, then they're dominating them in play. I think they're going to keep scoring. Samsonov is not going to win you a series, in my opinion. Bruins exposing them a bit. Just need to see a bit more offense coming along and staying out of the box. I think our defensive changes tonight will fix that.
I mean, obviously, game 2, the difference, the game-winning goal, Matthews. You knew that moment was coming. I just think this is kind of shaping up the way I thought it was going to say. I think I said Bruins in 6. I still think you guys will split in Toronto. I don't know which way it's going to go tonight. Obviously, I saw -110 both ways, so a pick 'em going into game 3 tonight. Ace, I know you're on the Bruins. Mackie, do you think you like Toronto tonight?
I really don't have a side on this series. I just think it's a really good series, and either team that comes out,
Depends
well
on the game.
deserved. But the other team, I mean, it's no reason to tip your cap. This is 2 teams going at it, but the Bruins have controlled both games, in my opinion. They definitely controlled the first game. I think that it was a one breakaway away from going in overtime in the last game. Bruins easily could have pulled it out, but they're 1-1 going back to Toronto. They did what they needed to do in terms of controlling the games at home. Now let's see what they can do in Toronto. I know they've been there for a few days, so it's a little different, but I don't know. I think tonight's a huge game. I think if Bruins lose tonight, they're going to really have their going to be on their toes for game 4.
You expect them to lose, Mackie, though? You were telling me the other day you wanted to see Sway play game 2. You would ride him. He's the better goalie, yada, yada. Are you confident in the Bruins with Sway in the net tonight?
I think with Swayman, you guys shouldn't really lose. I really don't understand the question mark behind every game of. So say like Swayman wins this game, Ullmark loses next game. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
And
no, I get what you're saying there. Maybe when you're later in the series, backs against the wall, then you start worrying about that
But
stuff.
you don't want the question mark going into the game in game 6,
I
game
get
7
that.
about who's going to be in your net. That was the problem last year. Is that are they going to make the right call? And if they lose, they automatically made the right call, no matter how the goalie plays.
Yeah, but regardless, look at what happened when we played Ullmark last year in that full series. He got injured and tired towards the end. These guys have been playing for 2 years now. Jeremy Swayman, whenever he plays 2 years, he always gets the next game off. Mentally prepared. You know how important that is as being a goalie, and physically prepared. I don't mind with what we're going with. It's not like you're losing anything. Like Linus Ullmark didn't lose us the game the other day. If anything, he would have won it for us the way he kept us.
You are losing things when starting Ullmark over Swayman. Swayman's clearly the better goalie.
I don't know.
You cannot disagree. You cannot sit. You're watching every single Bruins games. You cannot sit here and disagree.
They're
with me.
different types of goaltenders.
It's just because Ullmark has given you so much that you don't want to disrespect him, but you know that Swayman is the better goalie.
It's a tough call. I don't know what Swayman looks like in back-to-back games, though. I have yet to see that.
That's That's
See, that's the other thing. Like Mackie, I feel like for a goalie, like you want to be the guy that has the hot hand in the
You
playoffs.
do not want to go.
You don't want to be knowing you're not playing the next game.
I mean, I can't say from their situation.
They already had this. They didn't know who's
their
going.
situation is different. I will say that I've never been in a situation like that, but I've never known a goalie that wants to give up every other game in the fucking playoffs.
How weird is it though? How weird is it though when you go down the Bruins roster, right, and you just ranked who's the best players? Like Omar and Swear towards that top 5 echelon. Imagine keeping like a player that's like a top 5 player on your team on the bench for the whole series. Teams would be chomping at the bit to have. Huff would be loving to have Linus Omar in Pittsburgh right now. They'd be making a run in the playoffs.
I know Quick obviously what didn't end the season how he started it, but say he did, I would be pissed if they were giving Quick games.
Yeah, this is just different. It's just been for 2 years now.
Yeah, it's also Olmark's a Vezina candidate, and or Vezina winner last year, and you're saying that Swayman's a better goalie, so they definitely have a different situation.
It's so weird though, like as a fan, like to just watch this unfold. And I don't know. Everything you can blow something up like that in the playoffs. That's the thing. So we'll have to see how it develops. But I think they're going to keep going 1-1. So big game tonight. Hope they can get it done. Hopefully the next time you guys hear from us, I'll be up 2-1 this series.
I still think Bruins win the series in 6. I think you split in Toronto. I don't care who wins tonight. I just think the other team will win game 4. I think you split on Toronto's ice. I think you go back to Boston, defend your home ice, and I think you win in Toronto game 6.
Yeah, it'll be a good one. This is probably the most competitive series, at least in the East, so for the first round.
Mackie, what do you think? Make a pick. It's 1-1 now. You said Leafs originally, right?
Yeah,
in 7?
yeah. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I don't. Yeah, I'll go Leafs in 7. I want to say 6, but I think the series definitely goes 7. I just find it really hard for the Leafs to go into Boston game 7 and get a win with everything the Leafs have been through.
Yeah.
I do want to say Jim Montgomery feels like the Bruins got hosed because they're the top seed, and in this series they spend more time in Toronto because of the way the days work out than they do.
Who's the top seed? Oh! In this matchup. Yeah, I did see that he's pissed that like they're in Toronto.
It's kind of interesting. I didn't think about that, but
I don't want to keep talking about this game, but I almost think that's better to like be in Toronto for that
for
long
your road
instead of
games,
just
so you're
going-
comfortable.
Yeah.
For sure. It'll be fun to watch the series unfold. I think we're going to be talking about this for a couple weeks.
Last one, I think, is Battle of Florida.
Yeah, last one here in the East. Florida up 2-0 in this series against the Tampa Bay Lightning. What are you guys thinking about this Battle of Florida?
Are they
How good
dead?
is this Florida team?
Is Tampa dead?
No.
Just how good
I
is
don't
this
think
Florida
so.
team?
Oh, this
They're
Florida
good.
team is sick. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. This Florida
They're
team is sick.
deep. They're deep, and they have the top end power. That's what's good.
I called.
They're 11-0 in their last 11 overtime appearances.
Yeah, that's just like
Is that playoff or overall?
Yes.
Oh, playoff. That's sick.
That stems back to
that is
last year.
insane. Wow.
A dog mentality.
But tell me you wouldn't be surprised if they go back to Tampa and Tampa wins both of them. I personally,
I'd be surprised if they win both.
I wouldn't. I mean, they're playing them really well, and
I think they get game 3. I think they get
I
game 3.
predicted Cats in 5, and I really don't think they win in 5 anymore. And they're up 2-0, so it's crazy to say that. Dude, the Lightning are playing them well, and
Because the
Vasilevsky
superstars are jumping up to the challenge. Those Tampa stars.
they are. And
They're not-
Vasilevsky's playing like he was 3 years ago.
Mhm.
I'm not saying they're going to win the series. They're
I
down
think-
2-0. It'd be very hard to win 4 out of the next 5 games over the Panthers. But I think that they can
4
make
of the
this
next
series.
6.
No, it'd be 5. They'd have to win 4 out of 5. There's only
Would
5 games left. It
5
has
plus
to be
2
4
is
out of
7.
5.
Oh, yeah.
I did it with-
Me and Ace were both like, wait a
I was
second.
doing it with the Rangers.
There's only been 2 games. Like what? No, I get it.
He's just sitting there like, wait
This
a
isn't
second.
the mental math podcast.
But yeah, I'm gonna go Panthers.
It's been a great series. The Panthers are stacked. They're doing exactly what we thought. They're getting scoring from all different angles. That's what's crazy to me. But yeah, Mackie, I'm right there with you. I think that these Bolts have been hanging in there. They need a game 2. That would have been massive for the series. But I think if they win game 3, they make it a series again. Guys like Steven Stamkos with that vintage one-timer from the slot, Kucherov doing his thing. It's those superstars. They're going to have to lean on them. And Vazzy might have to post a 1 or a 0 like I was saying about Sorokin. But we'll see. It's flipping the Amalie Arena. They'll get a little bit more action there. I did love the tweet by the Cats the other day. I don't know if you guys saw that. All 6 of our fans cheering. It was the stadium going nuts on that game winner the other night. So I don't know, Huff. What do you think about the series? I think the Lightning can. I had Lightning in 7, but I think as of right now, down to I'm going to say Cats in 6.
Yeah, I think I said Florida in 6. I honestly think this series could be in 5. I keep saying these early round matchups for obviously everyone loves not even loves to say it, it's true in years past where we see a lot of game sevens, and I think a lot of these Eastern Conference series that we're seeing right now, we're going to see a lot of shorter series. Ace, I think your Bruins are going to go
Distance.
6, maybe
Yeah.
7. I think a lot of these first round matchups are. I think Florida's just the better team in this series. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in Game 3. Obviously, you got to think that the experience that Tampa Bay has with obviously Kucherov and an MVP candidate, and you got to think that they get the boys going for Game 3 back, like you said, at Amalie Arena in Tampa Bay. But it's not much of a road trip. That's the thing about this series is obviously a lot of these matchups. It's obviously you're playing on road ice. It's not too much travel to deal with in some of these series compared to like the Nashville Vancouver series. But I like Florida. I'm gonna pick them. Probably I'm gonna ride with them still in 6. I think
Bolts in
Tampa
game
Bay's
3.
able to squeak one out. I think they go back to Florida with a 3-1 lead, and I would not be shocked if they end the series in 5 games.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Cats in 6 as well. But we're all saying that they're down. They're already up 2-0, so that is giving the Lightning credit.
Yeah, and you want to know something that
I would not be surprised at all if this series is over in 5 games for Florida.
So you picking them in 5 or 6?
I'll take
Yeah,
5 because everyone else
I
said
figured
6.
you were leaning that way.
Yeah, I you know what's crazy is one of my buddies was doing one of those series prices parlays, and it was after game 1, I think, and he sent that one. I was like, just remove that one. I think everything else is a lock. Get over 5.5 in Panthers Lightning. I'm like, I want to think that the Battle of Florida goes past 5 games, but there's a chance that the Panthers just run the table with them.
Yeah. Verhaeghe is so good, dude. They just have so many players.
The
that
depth
it's
is
like,
insane.
It's
And
crazy.
they're top end players. They'd be playing first or second line minutes on the power play on other teams, and they're playing depth roles. Evan Rodriguez, what an ad. Carter Verhaeghe, Reinhardt that year he's having, Tarasenko. The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Lots of good stuff here, boys, out of the Eastern Conference in the NHL. Moving over to the West here, starting out with Winnipeg and Colorado, a tied series 1-1 going into Game 3. A lot of these series, two of these series tied, and they are slightly behind the Eastern Conference here with games tonight. What do you guys think about this first series, the Jets and the Avs?
Best series in the West.
I think it's a good series. I think Colorado has them in this matchup. I personally think something's up with Hellebuyck. 10 goals through the first 2 games. Obviously, Winnipeg finds a way to win that first one. Going 10 goals. 5. They let up 7 or 6, and then what?
5.
One was an empty net.
I didn't watch the end. I was so fucking pissed.
Yeah, one was an empty net. So 10 goals through 2 games. Obviously, it's like a 5-point. I heard the save percent or the goals allowed. I just think something's going with him. Last year we saw this with Winnipeg. They whomped Winnipeg or Vegas in Game 1. In that game, I had $1,500 on Vegas puck line. Winnipeg wins that game outright, and then Vegas reverse sweeps the series, wins 4 straight. I think we could see a similar situation, but I'm still going to ride Colorado in 6 games. I think they win this on home ice back in Colorado in Game 6. I think Colorado goes back, wins both games at home, goes back to Winnipeg, 3-1 lead. I think Winnipeg wins Game 5, goes back to Colorado, series over.
Yeah, Huff, I like that take there, and the Hellebuyck issues do ring true. I'm going to stick with my original prediction of Avs in 7. I think the Jets are going to get theirs. You know what's crazy? Hellebuyck can play terrible like he's playing, but eventually he'll throw in a good game too. I'm pretty sure of it. And then Georgiev, whatever you say, on the other side, his best game is what he gave you last one in Game 2 with 2 goals against. We saw how bad he can be in Game 1, and that Winnipeg offense is loaded enough with the talent they brought in through the deadline, the talent they've drafted, the talent at the trade deadline, yada, yada. They brought this team in. They can score depth, all 4 lines. They'll hang with them. And the fact that it's 1-1 going into Colorado scares me a bit. And yeah, Hellebuyck might have something going up, but it might just be the Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar stat Colorado Avalanche effect. I think
Makar 5 points through the first 2 games. I mean, even in a loss, you put up 6 goals. I know one was late; they were down 7-5. I just think this Colorado team, the offense is buzzing. I know Mackey even said this back, and we've all said this. Georgiev doesn't need to stand on his head for how good that team is. Like once playoffs come around, that they're buzzing on all cylinders. This is a great series. I don't think it'll be over in 5. Obviously, it's going to be very tough for them to win 4 straight coming off that Game 2 win. But I still ride with Colorado in 6.
Yeah, I got them in.
Mac, your take on this one, because you're the one that said Winnipeg. Do you think are they still in the series? Do you still like them?
I had the Jets going to the Stanley Cup, but no, I mean, no, They're simply not. I think the Avs win this in 6. I think that they've completely controlled the first 2 games. The only reason they lost the first game is because Georgiev can't stop a beach ball. Jets got lucky.
It's like even scoring 6 in a loss is crazy.
Exactly.
Like,
They definitely should have lost that first game. They got lucky. Last game, they didn't control the pace at all. Colorado took over in Winnipeg 2 games in a row. Now Winnipeg has to go back to Colorado with their Vezina, soon to be Vezina winning goaltender playing like absolute shit, and they think they're going to be able to get a game or two out of in Colorado. Absolutely no shot. I think Colorado's owning the series. They're the better team. Jets just look deflated. And this is a team I'd go into the Stanley Cup. They were playing really well coming into the playoffs. They're outnumbered here. They're outmatched. They cannot match up.
The
with this
thing
team.
I don't think they're dead though. I really don't. I think the Avs definitely
gonna
take the
say-
series, but Hellebuck's a Vezina Trophy candidate. He had bad
Dude,
stretches throughout the year. He did have some, actually, surprisingly, not many. He had a couple, and he's a guy that leans on every game. We talked about fatigue factors with the goalies in Boston. Hellebuck doesn't feel that because he plays every night for year in and year out. I think he bounces back. I got the Avs still winning the series because they're the better team, but the Jets are going to stick to it, and they're not going to go away lightly.
I just think Winnipeg, if they want to have a fighting chance this series, you got to win game 3 or 4.
Yeah, they got to take
Yeah.
one in Colorado.
But they have to win one
If
in
they go-
Colorado. Hellebuck
If
has
they go down 3-1, this is over.
Hellebuck has to turn it around in Colorado. You know how hard that is with this against this team?
Yeah, he looked like he had the jitters or something, and it was on home ice with that whiteout. Like,
he
dude,
did
you got to
look
be
bad.
damn,
Maybe
bro,
the
it was
change of
bad.
scenery will help them, though. Maybe it will. Maybe
You
that
gotta
shift.
hope it does, but you're going up to elevation. I mean, going to Colorado is hard enough as it is, and then you got to go up against.
Let's
Nathan
see.
McKinnon
Let's
and
see
Cam
though.
Carr.
I think the
That
Jets
place
team
gets-
can
that place
score
gets
though. That
rocked.
Jets team
If-
can score.
If this can go 7, then the Jets will win it. But I don't think they're getting there. They can't. I don't think
This-
they're getting
I agree. I'm taking Colorado in
Best
6.
series in the West. At the Avs in 7. I think they get the job done in 7. Jets will fumble a bag like they always do.
Like you guys said, best series in the West. Moving on to the next one here, the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights here. The Vegas Golden Knights leading the series
I think this is
1-0.
the best series.
What's that, Huff?
I think this is the best series in the West, personally.
I can agree with that.
I think it's a pretty electric series here. I just keep seeing pictures and stuff from the games in Dallas. Lots of good stuff. What are you guys thinking here? Vegas up 1-0 in the series. I believe they play here tonight.
Yeah, not too
Yeah,
much
they-
of a
they got
tell.
game 2
Not too much of a
tonight.
tell on the series. It's the only one or one of the few with a one game under their belt. Them, the Oilers, right?
I mean, how about Mark Stone comes
First
back,
goal.
first
Yeah.
goal? Like, it's truly this Vegas team. They just figured out that way to they fucked the salary cap or whatever they can do. With the same thing the Lightning did. It's looking like they're you jump out, you steal the home ice in this series. Even if they lose this game, obviously you're going back to Vegas. I do like Dallas to even up the series tonight. Kind of similar to last game, 4-3 matchup. It was a crazy first period too. Was the craziest part. What was it, 3-2 or at the end of the first period? They scored all those quick goals. Vegas jumped out to a 2-0 lead, and it looked like Dallas tied it at one point. The goal gets called back, but I think this is an electric series. I still like Vegas to win it, but I definitely still think it could be in 6 games. I think I said 6, maybe 7. I'm leaning more towards Vegas in 6, even if they lose this game tonight. I think it's going to be really hard for Dallas to go on the road and win one in Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the series is close to over. I think this one also can go the distance as well. One of the 2 series that can go 7 out west. I think that Dallas is able to grab the second game here. Just missed beating this Knights team. This Knights team battle-tested reigning champs, right? They've perfected how to manage the salary cap, scheme the LTIR, in the cap, whatnot. I think that they're able to grab the next game. Only lost by a goal there. They were right there in the mix. This veteran Vegas Golden Knights team, not surprising that they took game 1. But I think Dallas is going to be able to go with that offense. Stankoven getting on the score sheet. I think he will again. One of the best names in hockey. But that team's too deep to not win a few games here. I think they may get evened up going back out to Vegas.
Yeah, I think I don't see a scenario where the Stars lose both games at home. I mean, this is the best team in the West all season. But I mean, their backs are against the wall now. Ottinger didn't have the best game. He's definitely got to step it up a little. And now you have you're down 1-0 against this the reigning champions, and you got to turn something around. You got to figure something out. I'm gonna go Knights in 6. I think that Dallas isn't gonna be able to figure it out, and the Knights obviously they pulled the Lightning 2021 trick, so they got those. But
The lineup's
yeah,
loaded.
I'm gonna go Knights in 6.
Yeah, I agree.
Stars in
Knights in 6.
7. Stars in 7. Not my most confident pick of any series. No confidence in this series. I don't know if I'll bet this one. Jets and Avs, Stars and Knights are the 2 series that I don't think I'm going to touch.
for good reason. I mean, anyone can win either of those games.
Alrighty, moving forward here, the Vancouver Canucks and the Nashville Predators here tied 1-1 in that series. Huff and I go into the game on Friday in Nashville, so very excited about this one. Huff, what are you thinking about this series here as we approach Game 3?
Yeah, huge game 2 win. Obviously, they get the whatever you want to call it with Demko going down. No one wants to see an injury there, but no one really knows what's going on with that. Looking like he could miss the series or a couple of games here. They got to Smith in net. It looked like they got to him last night, or whenever that game was. 4-1, they win that game. I'm gonna ride with these Predators. I had them in 6. I'm gonna go that they can come home, win Game 3, take a 2-1 lead. And obviously, even if they split there, I truly think that they're the defensive team that's going to be able to slow down this Vancouver offense. Especially if Demko misses time. I love Nashville to win this series. I saw they were still sitting around 200 to win this year, plus 200 to win this series. I'm going to go with Nashville in 6.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Keep my
The
pick.
Demko news, Huff, how massive is that?
Yeah, it's
I
huge.
mean, Casey DeSmith coming.
You don't root for injuries, but it happens. It happens to someone every year, and that's obviously a huge one for Vancouver.
He's regarded as week to week, so that means he's done for the series, right?
They're saying, I mean, they'd be surprised if he came back for the series. Yeah.
That's craziness. Casey DeSmith, Huff, you guys have seen him in Pittsburgh. I don't think he can get the job done, but this.
You don't want Casey DeSmith in a
I was going
playoff
to say,
series. I
I
can tell
kind
you
of didn't
that.
realize we're going to be watching him in Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You guys might want to throw on the Pens jerseys. It'll make him feel better about himself, and he might turn in a good performance.
back to the. I don't know. No, he didn't win.
No, he played poorly there too. But yeah, I mean, he's a classic backup. At least he has some experience, right? That's one thing you look at. Canucks did not need this though. A team that's so new to the playoffs, Demko would have been a staple in the net mainstay. I think they would have done this one in 5. I think I can still stick with my Canucks in 6 pick here though. Way to be by the Preds to split and grab one up in Vancouver. That's massive going back to Nashville now. I don't think they're good enough to win 4 games in the series. That Vancouver roster is way too loaded. I know they haven't played that way yet. Haven't scored enough goals. Really, Dakota Joshua doing the best on their offense, a guy that burst onto the scene at the end of the season. But yeah, I think it might go a little bit deeper than I expected now with the goaltending woes. But I think the firepower that the Vancouver Canucks have, if they even get on the power play, you guys see that when you go down to Nashville. You don't want to see a penalty from the Predators because I think they'll end up in the back of the net. But I got them in 6. Mackie, what do you think about these Canucks and Preds?
Yeah, I agree with you, Ace. I got the Canucks in 7. I think this obviously takes a huge toll on them having Thatcher Demko out and Smith in, but he can figure it out. And we know this Canucks roster is loaded, and they have the star power, so scoring goals won't be a problem. Saros has looked good. I mean, the Predators have looked good to this point. I won't say they probably could be up 2-0 in this scenario, other than where they scored 2 goals in 9 seconds or that 2 goals in 19 seconds, something like that. They look good. I think this is a really good series, but I'm gonna go Canucks in 7 on home ice.
Lots of good stuff there, boys. Last series here in the West for the NHL. Those Edmonton Oilers and the Los Angeles Kings. The Oilers lead that series 1-0 here. Ace, what are you thinking about this series here coming
Sweep.
into Game 2?
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm sticking to the original pick as well. Sweep. I think that they just have LA's number. I think Edmonton's too much
Too
for them
good.
to handle. This is a team I have going to the Stanley Cup final this year in my bracket. I like Edmonton to get the job done this first round. I think they obviously handle things tonight. We got a -1.5 on the card. Obviously, by the time you're listening to this, that game will be over. I think you'll be looking at Edmonton 2-0 series lead. I don't think they'll have any issue sweeping them back in LA.
McDavid 5 apples in Game 1. Come on now.
Does what he wants.
Is there anything the Kings can do, Mackie? Anything? Can they
Yeah, they're
grab
gonna
one
get
at
a
home?
game. They're gonna get a game. I'm gonna say a gentleman's sweep. They're gonna get a game. Oilers in 5. Oilers just always break down for one game at least, so you're waiting for it.
Stuart Skinner didn't look great in the first game, so I mean that's the one thing that they can hang their hat on. It's only one game in. If they can even things up, who the hell knows? But Edmonton, not the most successful playoff team in McDavid's tenure, but too stacked, I think, to not get out of this first round.
Lots of good stuff, boys, out of the NHL playoffs here this year. Going over each of those series in the East and West. Let's jump into these power rankings here for this week for these teams coming from the Eastern Conference. Coming in at number 5, the Winnipeg Jets. Number 4, the Florida Panthers. Number 3, the Boston Bruins. Number 2, the Carolina Hurricanes. And number 1, the New York Rangers. Mackie, your Rangers up top. Ace, your Bruins there at number 3. What are we thinking here about these power rankings here for this week, knowing where we are in these series?
Ace, I love you, but after that game 2, I got to switch Florida in
Yeah, that's
Boston.
fine. I mean, they're up 2-0. I was going to say, I think the
Yeah.
Oilers got to jump into the top 5 as well. But I know their matchup's later, so it's kind of tough to take. You got to take these series with a grain of salt. Like the Bruins, the Leafs, the Avs,
Everyone
and the
loves to
Jets.
overreact after games 1 and 2. Like, it happens every year, but I just think that's a good list of teams. You'll see those teams move
Yeah,
on.
I think they could too. That Jets though, you think the Jets stay in our top 5?
No.
Oilers, I think you swap the Oilers in. But coming
Yeah.
out of this first round, if the Oilers win this series 4-1 and the Avs win this series in 7, who do you have it as a higher power ranked team?
Probably the Avs because it's a tougher
Yeah,
opponent.
that's going to be the tough calls. We're going to have to keep watching. We'll have to see how these games
It depends how they win the games. If the Oilers go out and
dominate.
win every game, it's got to be Edmonton.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting, but I mean, good list this week. Rangers and Canes are going to lead the way, I think, for this whole first round.
Alrighty, jumping over to the NBA here. Similar idea. Let's start off here in the East, going over these series. The Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. Celtics leading the series there 1-0 as we go into game 2 here. What are you thinking, Ace? Your Celtics holding on there. What do you got?
Yeah, am I just supposed to do what the rest of the media does and just not say anything about the Celtics and pretend they don't exist? They're playing great basketball. Their spread's 15 points tonight in the playoffs, game 2. No Jimmy Butler on the floor for the Heat. I know that people think the rivalry could do something. Maybe they win one at home with the Heat whiteout, but I think it's Celtics in 4. I saw something like you can bet the Celtics to win every home game in the playoffs, and that's like plus 140,000. I think it's plus 750 to win. What was this? 14,000.
No,
You saw that today?
It was 14,000 to win every game, plus
50
700 to win
every home game.
every home game, yeah, or 7,000, 7,000 probably.
7,500 maybe. Yeah, interesting. But is there anything to say about the series? Is there any life for the Heat? Can they even win one?
No, but that's why
No.
why the media hasn't been talking about it. What is there to talk about this series? The Celtics are doing exactly
know,
what
that's what I'm
everyone thought
saying.
they were going to do. They're 15-point favorites.
You guys are gonna go to Miami and be at 9
Yeah,
Nobody
points.
wants to talk
crazy.
about when you have these Knicks Sixers games going to fucking hitting
When
buzzer
there's the
beaters
whole
and
Western
shit.
Conference
Nobody wants to
happening.
sit, and
Yeah.
nobody wants to sit there and talk about the Celtics winning by 25 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's like, Jamal Murray hits buzzer beater to beat the Lakers
No,
in game
no,
2.
I just
By the
think-
way, the Celtics also
I
won
just
by
think it's
Yeah,
funny.
like-
Like think about top seeds that ran away with the NBA league title in regular season title in past years, like those Warriors teams and the Cavs teams. They'd be talked about all the time, right? But the Celtics team, I mean, they're just doing their thing, and it's such light work that they're not going to be talked about until the second round. I think the only way they get talked about is if they lose the game.
No, I don't think they lose a game. I don't even think you have to worry about that. Miami's just not with the Miami Heat that we saw.
I threw them in the
team that went to the
Boston
finals.
parlay tonight on the money line, though. I bumped my Bruins up from minus 105 to plus 102, so we'll take it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, boys. Next series here in the Eastern Conference of the NBA. Mackie, your New York Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers. The Knicks leading 2-0. The Sixers just not able to do it here. What do you think? I see a smirk on your face there.
yeah, let's talk about it. Huff, I'm not going to go at you as much because you did switch up. But Ace, you want to respect these guys now? You want to respect them?
I mean,
Right.
what's
I thought you were going
Mackie,
to
Jalen
what's-
Brunson,
there. I
shut
was
up. Let me
kidding.
talk. Jalen
When-
Brunson
when-
is 16 for 55, and the Knicks are up 2-0 on the Joel Embiid led Sixers. The so much praise Joel Embiid led Sixers. This team is good. They get the support all around. Josh Hart has the 3rd most rebounds in the playoffs right now. He's a damn fucking shooting guard. He's getting the job done. He's hitting 6 threes a game. Dante DiVincenzo hitting 4 threes last game. They get the support because they have it. You have Kelly Oubre putting up 6 points last game. Tobias Harris is the only player not named Maxey or Embiid that had double digits, and he had 10. He shot like 36%. The Sixers team
terrible.
has zero support whatsoever. Maxey is averaging 33 points in this series, and the Sixers are 0-2 because the Knicks are the better team. They're more well-rounded, and everybody on that roster wants to win. The Sixers are just going through the motions.
Yeah, you're not wrong with that last point there, but you're playing right into my hand, Mackie. What did I say before the playoffs started? The first round is your NBA Finals, and you're acting like it is. You were just going nuts over the first 2 games that you won at home. Haven't even won a first round road playoff game. Let's run our mouth once we get through there. But maybe when you
I'm
get to the
telling you to
second round and see a
respect
real
them.
team,
Respect
it's
that
not that I
team.
don't respect them. It's
Respect
just
them.
irrelevant. Like
Who do they
They're
get in the second
irrelevant.
round? Is it the winner of the Bucks
Pacers,
Pacers?
Bucks.
It
Mackie,
depends. It
because when there's
depends.
two?
It depends.
No, it's Pacers. It's Pacers Bucks. It's automatically. It's
Oh,
not
really?
like yeah.
It doesn't
It's
reseed.
no, it doesn't reseed.
It's like the NHL then. Yeah, I hate that, honestly. But yeah, I mean, Knicks, kudos to you, doing a great job in the first 2 games. What did Joel Embiid say though? The series isn't over yet. They look dead to me. But once you start winning your games on their home floor, you can flex it a little bit more. Because what happens if the series goes 2-1? You're going to hold your breath a little bit, bite your tongue. I don't want to know what the group chat's going to be looking like if they lose Game 3, especially if it's in crazy fashion. But I'm still not going to be watching it because it's first round New York Knicks. I'll follow it a bit. But once they get to the second round, this is their NBA Finals. They better win this one with that home court advantage. Had a great regular season. But make sure you finish business. You don't want to stand on business before it's set. We'll see how that goes. But eager to see you celebrating this like it's a championship and having
I'm
more
not
fire
celebrating it.
and
I'm
having
telling you to
more
respect
fire.
them.
More fire.
I'm not celebrating anything. I'm pointing things out because you think that they're frauds. They're a 2 seed in the East for a reason.
Is this your first year
They
being a
ha-
Knicks fan?
And they handled your Celtics this year.
Okay. Well, the Celtics
Go look at
didn't
it.
matter.
Go look at the stats. Go look at how many games.
But
the Celtics beat the
did
Knicks
it
this year.
matter? Did it
Okay,
matter?
it doesn't matter. It's regular season. I'm just saying, we're the one team you don't want to see in the
The
Eastern Conference
Celtics
Finals.
season hasn't mattered until they get to the finals. So I mean,
They've
I don't
never
know.
won. They have why is everyone acting like the Celtics are this big team that needs to win the NBA
No.
championship? They've literally never won.
They say that all the time. That's all they're
It's-
saying is Jason Tatum needs to get a
Mackie,
finals.
it's just because they had the best record. They were the preseason favorite to
cares?
win
The
it.
other
They lived
teams
up
have
to
won
it.
six more games in a season
Think about
before.
this, Mackie. If you had the Celtics resume though, you guys are fiending to have the Celtics resume of getting to the ECF 3 years in a row and getting to the
And
finals
losing?
recently.
You guys haven't done anything.
When's the last time
Jason
you've
Tatum
even
has 0
sniffed that?
accolades. He doesn't even he has nothing. He has no
How
scoring title,
happy
no
will you
MVP,
be? You
no-
will think
no
this is the
offensive-
most. If you get to the Eastern Conference Finals, you're going to act like it's the most successful season in the world, and you won't be back there for 3 more years at least.
Why would we not be back there? What is saying that we won't be back there? We're missing our second best player right now.
But
We
are
don't
you
even
going to
have
be,
our-
Mackie? Will you be happy if you get to the ECF and lose?
Yeah, because it's the Celtics.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm expecting that. Like I'm expecting to get to the ECF and lose.
But does it even matter getting to the ECF? I thought it was irrelevant
Why
to get
not?
there to even get to the finals. Well, that's what you're saying about the Celtics the
It's
last
good,
few
That-
years.
but if
Listen, we
that,
get to the Eastern Conference
but
Finals,
Ace,
we have
if that
nothing to lose.
happens, Ace, if that happens, it's such a different narrative that if the Knicks almost have nothing to lose in
No,
that
but
series.
he's saying what's their resume?
You
No,
guys
but
have
he's
everything
saying,
to
that's what I'm
lose
saying.
if you
No,
don't
no.
get
You
that
were
far.
just talking about how the Celtics have made 3 straight Eastern Conference Finals, and now you're acting like if the Knicks make the
No,
Eastern
no, I'm
Conference
flipping.
Finals, nothing.
I'm just flipping on you. That's what I'm saying. Like you're saying this. You literally said, "What is the Celtics resume?" Well, they've been where you're striving to be 3 years in a row, if not more.
Right, but you were saying our goal is to get to the Eastern Conference Finals when that's all you've done. Okay, you made it to one. You made it to one.
Finals too, yeah.
One finals, and you lost. So
But that's a pretty good resume. I know that it doesn't matter unless you
resume
win.
with 0
No,
accolades.
I agree. I agree with
It's
you
nothing.
1,000%. But it's no, you can't say it's nothing. They're the
It
best
is
team.
nothing. The Heat have done it too. The only reason the Heat aren't talked about like the Celtics are because of the 8 seed when they do it, which is actually even more
And the
impressive.
Heat-
No, but it's,
and
I'm,
Heat have
I'm,
won
I'm
more
not saying
championships.
there. I think it's all that matters is winning the
in our
championship.
lifetime.
But you have to respect the fact that they've been the best team in the East for the past 3 or 4 years now. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, you could say that, and that's even more embarrassing that they haven't won. But
I mean, I don't know what you're going for though. Like Knicks have no business to stand on for like 5 years, and like, are they ever gonna win? Are they ever gonna make an Eastern Conference
okay,
Finals?
so
Like,
why can't we do that for the next 5 years?
but you haven't done shit ever.
But we're there. Like why? What we're there now. Like we're in the mix now.
You're in Game 3. You're going to Game 3. You won 2 games at home against the 7th.
Yeah, you've won one game in the playoffs too. So I don't know why you guys are acting like you're already in the championship.
Because they've been acting like it all year long.
It's win, and then I can shut up. Win, and then I can shut up.
But you have no right to
Well,
talk either,
acts like
though.
they're so good because they're regular season
But do
champions.
the Knicks
Last
have
year
any?
was
Do the
Bruins.
Knicks have anything to talk about though?
Yeah, they're doing pretty well right now.
Kudos to you.
And I'm telling you, and I told you to respect them, and you're acting like I won a championship. 'cause
Is
they won
there a
2
better
games.
chance
Nope,
that
you
the
gotta respect the
Sixers?
team.
Is there a better chance that the Sixers get back into the series, or that the Celtics lose a game in the first round?
I don't know what kind of fucking question is that.
It's
Yeah,
a
I
valid
don't
one.
even- I
It's a
don't even
valid
know.
one. But I will.
'cause I
Like
don't
I'm
think
saying,
the Sixers get back in.
I do. I will say this though. I'll give you a little bit more respect when you handle business on the opponent's floor. You won 2 at home, as expected. It's what you should do.
As
Let's keep
expected,
seeing it.
you-
Let's keep seeing it. Let's keep seeing it.
Let's bring up clips from last week. Say it's expected.
No, I said
Now,
I still have
now
the
it's
Sixers
as
in the series.
expected
I have
against the
Sixers in
lowly
7. I
against
had
the lowly
Sixers in
7
7.
seed.
The Sixers in 7. I'm
All right,
sticking to it. I'm sticking to it. We'll see though. But regardless, one of these teams will probably lose in the next round, if not to the Celtics in the following round.
we'll see. Talk
I
about it
hope
when we get there.
feed us that series. Feed it to us.
I have switched. I think the Knicks win this series in 5.
Yeah, the Sixers do look defeated though. After what I've seen so far. Bruins peeper a minute in.
Alrighty, sticking in the East here. The Milwaukee Bucks and the Pacers here up next, tied 1-1 in that series. What are you guys thinking about the Bucks and the Pacers here? Another pretty electric series.
I think everyone overreacted to game 1, and the Pacers are right there. I mean, they scored 100. They were the number 1 scoring team in the league this year. I think. Don't check me on that, but they do score points. And Siakam's been the best player.
You can't just go out there throwing around number
Well,
1 offense.
how many times?
Be like,
How many times did you see them put up like 140 points this year? They score the ball. That's what they
No,
do.
yeah, it's just they just didn't have the defense to
Yeah,
back it up.
exactly. But I mean, they're playing well. Bucks don't really have it. I mean, they have names out there.
It's
but
the
they're
knockoff
not-
Bucks.
Yeah, they're not looking very good. I think the Pacers take this one in 6, maybe 7.
I like the
but-
Pacers as well.
If they get
Yeah,
back, if the backs are against the wall for the Bucks, though, you think Giannis plays
Yeah, I think they do. I think
in
they
this
do
round
rush
too?
back.
Yeah. I don't know. This is the one series I just don't have a good read on it without the
it's
best
so
player
weird.
in the
I
series
can't-
playing. Like,
And there's
it's
no
just
que-
so weird. I haven't been betting on this series, and I don't.
Is there
plan
really
on
any
it.
word on him, like when he's gonna come back?
No,
I saw something. They think he's done for this. They don't think he's going to play this series.
it's weird. Yeah, I mean, they expect to win the series. I still think they do win the series. They have a home court advantage. At best, the series is going to go to the distance for the Pacers. But then what are they going to do? Win in Milwaukee? I don't think so. And I
I don't
think
think they're matching up very well.
no, but I agree with Huff. I think they rush them back if their backs are against the wall. And then if it goes to Game 7, I think having that home court advantage will be important.
I don't think the Pacers would win a game if Giannis played, but like he's also may not be healthy, so it's like if he does get
Can he
forced
even
back,
play?
there's also
Yeah.
that narrative. Yeah,
But
I don't
Tyrese
know.
Halliburton has been one of the streakiest players in the league this season, right? I mean, you can't be
Yeah, it's
counting
not-
on him to be consistent.
It's
I
not
just
Halliburton, it's
think
Siakam.
Giannis is that.
Yeah,
dominant.
I love that move at the deadline. I thought that was the most important move that was made, especially for that team. I think he's an important player. Former champion, brought in, post triple doubles a lot. But yeah, I think this is going to be a long series without Giannis. But if he can somehow slot back in, I don't think there's any chance. I expect the Bucks to go into the next round at least. I don't think I can say I think the Pacers will win the series.
Pacers home court now, though.
Yeah, I can't even make a pick on this series, honestly. Without
Agreed.
Giannis
It's so
playing,
tough to
but-
read
I'll
'cause
go
you don't know
Pacers.
what's coming.
Already sticking in the East here. Last series, the Cavaliers and the Orlando Magic here. The Cavs leading the series 2-0 here, going into Game 3. What are you guys thinking coming out of this series?
Gentlemen's sweep.
Is Game 3
Gentlemen's
tonight?
sweep.
Nah, tomorrow.
Probably not.
No, it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, gentleman's sweep for sure. I think I said this, Huff. I said I think your Magic will grab one at home so they can post that video that you love to see on social media. But I think the Cavs have been here, right? They've been here. They've done this. They're a little bit older. I think they're more talented. They're just Magic are ahead of schedule. Kudos to them for getting there. But this Cavs team is poised for the second round.
It's not my most confident pick. I'm not going to say they're going to come back and win the series, but I think this is kind of what you were saying to Mackie. Like I think
You got to
if they
win
win Game
on
3,
visitor court.
they got to win. Cavs got to win a road game. Like Orlando's been good on their home court all year. They've struggled on the road. I could still see this go 6 or 7 games, but obviously Orlando, you got to think they're thinking they got to win both of these. Starts with Game 3. I saw they're minus 130. They're like a 1.5 point favorite or whatever that would be, maybe 2. I think Orlando takes Game 3. They've been good on their home floor all year. I think it's a different series when you get that 2-1. Obviously, going into Game 4, you're on your home floor. But I think it is similar to what you said to Mackie. Like, I think this series changes once a road team
Yeah,
wins.
you got to prove it first because you expected to win on your home court, but once you went on the visitors' floor, you're like, all right, this is legit.
Yeah, I mean, they were 6.5 point favorites both games. Like,
Yeah, I like the Cavs here. I've had
They
them
were-
on.
they were supposed
I've had
to
them on
win.
the
Say-
card both times. I think.
Ace, I agree with you. I think Magic steal one at home, but they're gonna have a tough time winning in Cleveland. And if you don't win both at home, then I think it's just a short series.
That'd be a
Cavs out
Cleveland thing to do to go win at home too.
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty, moving over to the West here. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the New Orleans Pelicans are the next series up. First one here in the West. The Oklahoma City Thunder are leading the series 1-0 here as we get into game 2. Mac, you want to get us rolling on this series?
Yeah, if there's anything that game 1 showed me, it's that this OKC team is inexperienced and young, and it's clearly their first time in the playoffs. They snuck it out. They're the way better team, don't get me wrong, but this is a game of defense, and regular season is not like that. OKC has the better roster, but they're gonna really have to change up their play style, I think, to win this series.
I think that was a little bit of the first game woes.
Young team.
An experience like a team that they had the 1 seed. They had some
Days
pressure for a
off,
younger
too.
team coming into this playoffs. Yeah, they had some time off while the Pelicans were playing those playing games. I think they just caught a hot hand that came in. I like the Thunder to bounce back big in game 2. I took
Blowout.
them in the first half tonight, -4.5. Yeah, I think this could get ugly tonight. I like the Thunder.
Yeah, I
big
like
in
them on
game
a
2.
double digit. I think yeah, I think they do. I actually do.
What'd you
So do you
say?
think they sweep?
I think it's 5. I think New Orleans is a veteran team
Smoothie King Center.
enough that they'll get one
Yeah.
at home.
I
With that creepy baby mascot they fucking
Yeah,
walk around
what
the
is that? The
stadium.
baby that's in the cake for the
Yeah, dude.
yeah,
Weird.
whatever it is. But yeah, going back to the series a bit, I agree with you, Huff. I think that a little bit of rust coming off. Pelicans have been playing hungry. They're playing for their lives the last 2 games, so kudos to them for giving it a fight in game 1, not getting us that first half bet we had on the card. But I think tonight it's safe to say they'll cash it. Thunder know what's going on now. Had a good second half last game. They're gonna roll heading into New Orleans. I got them with a double digit win tonight. Surprised I didn't card it, but staying away.
Yeah, I don't
Big
know.
s-
I'm kinda looking at this a little different. I think
Pesky
if it was a
Pelicans,
series,
pesky, but not
gonna-
good enough to win games
I'm gonna say OKC in 6. I think Pels sneak 1 or 2 out, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 5, but I think they're gonna have a tough time whoever they run into next round.
for
Either
sure.
the Clippers or the Mavs.
Yeah, I'll stick with OKC in 5.
Oh God, lower I going to the box. The youngin.
Alrighty, next series up here, the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers. The Nuggets up in this series 2-0 here against LeBron and the Lakers. What are you guys thinking here? I thought I saw a lot of junk, I don't know what to call it, about this game. Just bad calls and things like that, and LeBron commenting on it.
Yeah, the Lakers haven't been happy with the officiating in this series. Obviously, AD, he didn't have too happy of a post game press conference. They asked him what happened on that final play. He said Jamal Murray made a shot and he stormed out of the interview. So, this Nuggets team is so good. I'm a Lakers fan. I'm a little biased towards LeBron. They're gonna win Game 3. That it'll be a different series. You got to think the Nuggets aren't going to lose 2 straight. They're going to be going back to Denver with a 3-1 series lead. Whether the Lakers win Game 3 or 4, but it's going to be a tough time for the Lakers to overcome this. The Nuggets look really good. It looks like they kind of have their eyes set on next round as well. I think LeBron and the boys will be able to muster up 1 win. Game 2 looked like it needed to be the game they needed to steal. Jamal Murray hits a buzzer beater at the end over Anthony Davis. He's been talking about he wants to be respected for the Defensive Player of the Year, and you let a point guard get a floater over you in the waking moments of a playoff game. But as much as I love my Lakers, I think this is their kryptonite. They can't beat this Nuggets
I don't think
team.
so either, Huff. And I think that's a LeBron fan in you, the historic fan in you, of greatness of some of those top end players saying they get 1. That's a generous 1, I would say. I wouldn't be surprised if the Nuggets sweep them here. They're too good of a team. This is the second best team in the NBA. You could even say it's the best team in the NBA because of what they did last year, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how this Lakers team isn't good, right? They're not a good team. They've barely been doing what they've been doing up to this point. They barely even got here. Toughest matchup they could have drawn. I'm agreeing with you. I think that's the best they could have played was last game. And yeah, I don't see them getting 1
The only shining light I see in that Game 2 loss is if you can do that on your home floor. I like to think
because
you win
of
the game.
what's behind you. Yeah, you'd like
Yeah.
to think, but we'll see. We'll see. If anything, it's going to be.
You don't
I think a series is
you don't-
over in 5
you don't blow
games.
that lead
Max.
at home. No way.
Is this series dead though, Huff? Do you think?
5 games max for the
Ooh,
Nuggets.
really?
Yeah. This Lakers team looks defeated, dude. They're already worrying about the refs and shit. Like, I mean, that's the NBA. They're always worried
But,
about the
like,
refs.
it's
but,
early.
like, as soon as you start pointing the fingers at anything, they blew a 20-point lead in Denver. I mean, obviously, like you said, Mackie, I don't think they do that in the Staples Center, but this Nuggets team is so good, dude. You got to think that they win 2 out of the next 5 games?
No, I don't think that the Lakers win this series, but I think that they can protect home court at least one game.
No, I think they win 1 game. I think 5 series.
You think they
5
go down
games.
3-0 though?
I don't know, dude. I don't want to say this is like in
Dead?
the water.
I think it is.
I think it is too because
I
They're
think
favored in
I
game
think it
3.
was dead when we saw the matchup announced after the plan.
I mean the Lakers win that last game. This is a completely different conversation.
And
No,
they're
you're right,
favorites
you're
still
right.
in game 3 coming home.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I wouldn't also Ace. I wouldn't say this Lakers team is bad. They still have. I mean Anthony Davis.
They're
Easily
supposed
a
to get
top 2
Vanderbilt back
defender in
for
the
whatever
league,
that
top 3
means.
defender
No, I
in the
agree with
league.
you. I agree with you about the top end star power, but the depth isn't there. Unlike
I
the
mean, they got
Nuggets
7
who
threes.
have who have depth.
They got 7 threes from D'Angelo Russell and they lost the game. That can't really be happening.
A
Is he
Laker
gonna
record
is he
in a
gonna do
playoff
that
game
again
and
though?
they
Like is
lose.
D'Lo gonna
I'm
keep
saying.
showing up?
That's what I'm saying. Like you can't count on D'Lo to hit 7 threes in another game.
Yeah, that's why I think that's the best effort they're gonna give this series. Personally,
Lakers needed to go get Trae Young at the
I think
deadline.
that's a statement too. That win, that's a demoralizing loss for the Lakers. Personally,
we'll
but
see how game 3 goes.
going home is that's the best thing that they have is they're going home.
Yeah, we'll
Maybe
we'll
they
know more.
expected to be in the spot.
Because like we said, I mean, you're taking care of business on your home floor. It doesn't mean much.
I mean, everyone wrote them off to be in this spot. Everyone said Nuggets were going to win 2 games in a row. No one saw the Lakers having a 20-point lead, but that's how resilient that Nuggets team is. They're obviously, we know what they can do. They won it last year. They're defending champs. So, but I think the Nuggets get this done in 5. I said the Lakers. I like them to win the series in 6 originally. It's going to be, there's no shot they win 4 in a row, but I'd love it. I'm obviously a LeBron guy. I'd love to see the Lakers pull this series out.
Good stuff, boys. Moving on here in the Western Conference, the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Clippers here next, tied 1-1 in that series. Where's that one heading? Is that one heading to Dallas?
Back to Dallas. Yeah, and I was big on Dallas in game 1. Clippers win that game. They look pretty dominant. We took them on the card in game 2. Dallas ends up, Luka. It was top to bottom, their lineup. It kind of showed that a lot of people come at Dallas for the depth that they have or don't have. They got scoring from top to bottom. Luka only had, I forget what he had in game 1. Almost, it was nearing a triple-double, a couple assists away. Dallas just out-rebounded the Clippers up top to bottom, and that was a good game for them, a huge road win. You turn the home court back to Dallas. I'm still going with Dallas to win this series in 6. I think they're I just like Luka. I like their top-end scoring and what they're able to do with Luka and Kyrie. But, yeah, I think that was a huge win in game 2. I'm also a big fan of Luka, so I'm going to go with my Mavericks to stick out my original pick, Mavericks in 6.
Yeah, I kind of feel like a jabroni betting on these Clippers, but I think the Clippers. I
took them both
mean,
times, so at least they won once.
Yeah, I took them both times too, but I really thought they were gonna win last night. Luka just kind of took over. I think the Mavs win this series now. I really do. I switched sides, but this is gonna be a really good series. I could see it going 7 games. It's gonna be tough to beat Kawhi in Game 7 as well. I don't know. I really
If
don't
he
have a
can
play
play.
on this series anymore.
Is he ever gonna
He
play?
literally could wake up some
That's
dude.
the
He
thing.
could just wake up someday and be like, "I'm not going to play," and they're like,
I know
"Okay,
it's crazy, but I think he'll play from here on out. Harden's stepping up too.
yeah." Playoff Harden game 1 every year.
That's what I said. I expected that. He's gonna reign and he's gonna keep doing it. But I think this series goes the distance. Definitely one of the few out west, right?
I like Dallas in 6. I think they close it out in the American Airlines Center.
I'm still on Clips in 7. Mackie, what's your final verdict?
I'll go Dallas in 7.
Oh, what a block!
Alrighty, moving to the last series here in the West in the NBA, the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Phoenix Suns. The Timberwolves leading this series 2-0 against those Suns. What are you guys thinking here coming out of this series heading into Game 3?
Anthony Edwards is a fucking beast. This is the team that I'm majorly rooting for, that I've kind of put a personal stake in. He's one of my favorite young players. I'd say him and Wembanyama. But Anthony Edwards, what he's doing in the playoffs right now, the trash talk to KD in Game 1, all the high praise he's getting from all these crazy basketball players. You heard what Jordan said. A lot of people are saying he's not even at his peak yet. This is a young team going up against a veteran Suns team. It's going to be, I think if they go back to Phoenix and split, that's a win. Get back to Minnesota with a 3-1 series lead. I like the Timberwolves to still win this series. Obviously, up 2-0. I obviously like them even more. I'm going to go with the Timberwolves in 5. I think I originally said 6. I think they have this Suns team's number. I'm going to go with the Timberwolves to win this series in 5 games.
Yeah, I'm gonna go T-Wolves in 5 as well. And I'm not discrediting Ant at all, but I mean, it was only a game 1 that he went off. Last game,
I know, but dude, it's what he did throughout the whole season though. It's like that
yeah,
team, like
yeah. Don't get me
with
wrong.
Cat, Gobert, when Jaden McDaniels can be your leading scorer, like that shows like he doesn't have to do it.
No,
every night.
exactly. And that's what I'm getting to is that this team is really performing. Everyone is performing. You're getting 18 from Gobert, 18 and 9 from Gobert, 18 from Mike Conley, who's probably 42 years old by this point. Jaden
Mhm.
McDaniels, 25, leading scorer in the entire game. I mean, you don't need Ant to be that good, and when he is
They
that
got
good, it's going to be so hard to beat this team. I read him off. I'm not okay. I thought they were going to win this series, but I didn't think that they were going to. I thought they were more of a
make
regular
some
season
noise.
team. I think this team can definitely make noise in this Western Conference.
Yeah, they got Kevin Durant. Well, we got Jaden
And
McDaniels. That's
I
the
knew
best clip
I
ever.
saw those
Huff, do you
stats, and
have
I was
a
like,
future
"No
on
way."
this team?
No, I might. I think it's a little late now. I still might get something because they're still gonna have to go through Denver, so it's gonna be a good series. It's gonna be a good price if you jump on the Timberwolves now. Even
That's a good point.
It's Denver next round, isn't it? Oh no, it's not. They don't have
I
to,
thought,
Denver doesn't
but
have
I
the
would take them
finals.
to win the West. I would not take this team to win
They
the
don't have
finals.
to. They don't have to see Denver till the conference finals either. So
I thought you told me they'd have to see him next
they're a
round.
2 seed, aren't they?
The Timberwolves.
Who's the 1 seed?
Timberwolves are the
Who's the 1
3.
seed?
OKC
Thunder.
Nuggets.
Yeah, they would have to see him next round. Yep. I was thinking Denver was the 1 seed. I don't know why.
Yeah, you took because you correct me on that. I said T-Wolves Nuggets would be an electric Western Conference Finals, and then you said they'd have to see him next
Yeah,
round. So
good for
I
me.
think you'd still get a good price on them,
Yeah, but
especially with both teams up 2-0. Like that's the presumptive matchup. You know what I mean?
for sure.
I'm gonna look at that right now. You guys keep going.
Alrighty, jumping into these power rankings here for the NBA. Coming in at number 5, the New York Knicks. Number 4, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Number 3, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Number 2, the Denver Nuggets. And number 1, the Boston Celtics. What are you guys thinking here for these power rankings here this week? Lots of good teams across the board. Ace, your Nuggets sitting there, or sorry, your Celtics sitting up there at the top. Mackie, your Knicks there down at the bottom. What do you guys got?
Yeah, see,
Speaking of these Timberwolves, I might do this plus 1100 to win the West. That's still some nice
that's
value.
really nice value. And you might
I
even
would
be
take
able.
that.
I mean, game 3. Do you think the Suns grab game 3 at home because you could wait and get a
That's
better
the thing.
price?
Do I risk it? Do I risk them winning game 3 in Phoenix and going up 3-0, or possibly being 2-1 and you could probably get 12
Yeah,
or
that's what I'm
13?
I think
thinking.
you should just.
I think because if they win game 3, it's going below 1,000. I think it'll be at 1,000.
It won't drop that much.
I don't know, man. I don't think that they're worried about the Suns at this point. I think they're looking at Denver.
Yeah, I think they're mainly worried
Yeah,
about the
see if
Nuggets.
they can drop a game and shop the price. Then, in my opinion.
That's on DraftKings, dude. I might
See
do
if they
that.
could drop a game. Yeah, for sure.
50 wins what? 550?
But here's the take on our power rankings. Same take as we had on the NHL standings. We'll have an update for you really next week. We got to get past these first 1-2 games and get a true read on the series. You can put any of these teams up in their series at the top of the leaderboards.
Alrighty. Lots of good stuff there out of the NBA playoffs. Lots to look forward to as we get through these first rounds and into the second rounds here mid next week. But let's jump over to the NFL. We got some points here out of the league. The first one being the New York Jets have traded quarterback Zach Wilson in a 7th-round pick to the Denver Broncos this week in exchange for a 6th-round pick. And the Jets will reportedly pay $5.5 million of Zach Wilson's salary next season. What do you think this does to the Broncos offense after losing Russ, gaining Zach Wilson, keeping that name? Is this the worst offense in the NFL?
Great
going into
way.
this
Yes, it is. But
Great
is
way.
there a difference between Russ and Zach Wilson?
Yeah, shut up. That
Major.
was a great way
You're
to
an asshole,
introduce
dude.
that.
Yeah, there's a major
With
difference.
gaining Zach Wilson, is this the worst offense in the NFL? Yes, it probably is.
That was my point there, Mackie. I think it is, and I think
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton wants out too, doesn't he?
How could you not? How could any sane wide receiver want to sit in that offense right now?
Does Jarrett Stidham win the QB job over Zach Wilson?
I kind of hope Zach Wilson gets it and like does all right because like Jets
I wouldn't
fans
mind a
hate
bounce back. Like, wouldn't you mind seeing Zach Wilson? He's had a good game with Patrick Mahomes before. We were down in Dallas watching that one. It was a barn burner, like 13-10, right?
Listen, he's back in elevation. He was playing in BYU. That's how he got to the position he was. Now he's back in elevation. Let's see if he can figure something out up there in Denver.
Yeah, there's probably a new group of moms up there too, so he's hyped.
Yeah, exactly. New field, all new ball game.
Shout out to the Jets though for getting something while they can for Wilson.
He's arguably one of the bigger busts of our lifetime.
The
I'd say.
the last few years draft classes of quarterbacks really all are.
Yeah, I was talking to a few Jets fans the other day, and they were saying he's probably like the biggest bust they've
They've
witnessed.
drafted, yeah.
And they've had a few.
They've had a lot recently.
Alrighty, continuing in the NFL here, Reggie Bush is getting his 2005 Heisman Trophy back as ESPN has learned that the Heisman Trust will announce Wednesday the formal reinstatement of the trophy to Bush amid what is called enormous changes in the college football landscape. The Heisman Trust's decision comes after Bush forfeited his Heisman Trophy in 2010 in the wake of the significant NCAA sanctions for USC, which included Bush receiving improper benefits during a Trojans career that spanned from 2003 to 2005. As part of the decision Wednesday, the Heisman Trust is returning the Heisman Trophy to Bush and a replica to USC. Bush will again be invited to all future Heisman Trophy ceremonies beginning in the 2024 season. So nice, all this NIL stuff's coming, and that this stuff kind of is following it.
Good for the man. Even though he broke the law, good for the man. He deserved it.
Times
He was
change,
a
right?
stud. I loved him in
You
New
can't put
Orleans.
up those numbers and then not get a Heisman in your house.
Yeah, that's sick. I'm hyped for him to get it back. And like vintage Reggie Bush, remember him doing that back in the college days. I remember him forfeiting it too. That was a massive story. But I saw a bunch of other Heisman winners congratulating him on getting that rightfully back. And with the landscape of the NCAA nowadays, it's rightfully
Johnny
so.
Manziel like boycotted the Hall of Fame until like because of this.
Yeah, I remember that.
He'll probably be back in there too. Or well, back at the whatever they do, their meetings.
The trust.
Next one here, 16 years after his selection by the Atlanta Falcons, help headline the start of the 2008 NFL Draft. Matt Ryan is officially calling it a career, announcing Monday that he's retiring from football at the age of 38. Matt Ryan, who currently serves as an NFL analyst for CBS Sports, did not take the field during the 2023 season following a one-year stint with the Colts. He left the door open for a return to the game upon joining the broadcast booth. But now, with 15 years of quarterbacking in the books, he's hung up the cleats as an honorary member of the team that defined his all-pro career with the Atlanta Falcons. Ace, what are you thinking about this one here? Matt Ryan retires, continuing his deal as an analyst. What do you think?
Yeah, former Boston College Eagle. Pretty electric in his tenure as an NFL player, too. Hooking up with Roddy White and then Julio Jones. So great to watch his career unfold. Kind of washed away after some injuries, but most notably known for the 28-3 loss that he suffered to the Patriots. But I think he captured an MVP in that season, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, everyone loves to make fun of him for that, dude. He was so good that year.
Yeah, but it actually ruined his career. Like, it genuinely did ruin his career.
Yeah, he didn't have much more
He never
left in the
bounced
tank
back.
anyways. The whole team, he ruined that. I mean, Tom Brady ruined that franchise. And that's definitely not only his fault, though. You got to blame the play calling, coaching, and defense a bit, too.
But yeah, that is definitely like, I mean, people talk about Matt Ryan in 15 years. They're going to be like, oh,
28-3.
Yeah, that he lost 28-3.
Yeah.
That's definitely his career right there.
That's so brutal.
Yeah,
and
he was.
Just think about how different his career is if he wins that game.
Exactly.
He's an MVP and Super Bowl
Over
That's what we're
champion.
saying. Like it was that monumental, and he probably his career probably wouldn't have went down the gutter either. But
as a
he was getting up
broadcaster,
there
you
in
know
the
what's going to
age.
be, what's going to be great though, as a broadcaster, is when they talk about historic comebacks and teams being down big points. And they're going to be like, whoever's in the booth with them will be like,
Matt Ryan knows a lot about
I
that.
remember when you had a big lead one time. But yeah, you think he's not a Hall of Famer, I don't think, but definitely a Falcons legend. Falcons Hall of Famer?
He'll have his number. He'll have his
for
number
sure.
retired probably.
He's the second best quarterback the Falcons have ever seen.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he could be the
He was
first because
good.
of
He was very
longevity.
good. Him and Julio Jones were in their prime.
Did he play with Tony Gonzalez? Yeah,
Mhm.
that's sick. Roddy White,
I
Tony
think so.
Gonzalez. Nice.
Alrighty, boys. One more point here out of the NFL. Amon-Ra St. Brown has been extended by the Detroit Lions for $120 million over 4 years, this making him the highest paid wide receiver in the league. I feel like every time we read a new deal, it's always the highest paid for that position. What are you guys thinking here, Lions, with their run? What do you think they're doing here with St. Brown?
Penei Sewell
also
signed
Sewell,
4
yeah.
years, $112 million extension. So the Lions are handing out money right now. I mean, they just had a good season. Won a playoff game.
NFC Championship. Yeah.
Did they win a playoff game? Am I tweaking?
Went to the NFC Championship and lost.
I'm bugging out. Yeah, great season. They're resigning.
Had a huge lead on the 49ers
They're
and blew it.
resigning all their players that got them there, and they'll be back. They'll probably be back in the mix next year too.
Yeah, for sure. That's a team that'll stick around. I don't think that was a 1-year thing. Obviously, those are locking up some nice pieces. St.
Weak
Brown was a
division.
huge part of that offense last year. Yeah, go and get it. Go and secure your right tackle that you spent the 5th overall pick on a few years ago. I think that team's just gearing up, and an NFC playoff, our championship appearance last year for a team that hadn't won a playoff game in 30 years. I don't think that's the last you'll see
Yeah,
of them.
and with Amon-Ra becoming the top paid receiver in the league at $30 million a year, how much do you think Jettis is going to make when he's due for his contract?
They said today he'll get like 32 and a half or 33.
Jamar's probably going to be close to that too, right?
You got to pay the quarterback.
Yeah. We'll see.
Lamar don't deserve it like Jettis does.
All these guys that make $30 million a year. Look
I
at
would
the quarterback.
love
They're
if
not
the
guys that
Patriots
make-
paid $30 million for Jamar Chase with the wide receiver woes we've had in the past half a decade now.
Oh, I'm sure you would.
Alrighty, boys, that is all we got out of the NFL here this week. Jumping over to the MLB as
NFL draft. I want to read through this
Heat-
mock draft. I want to hear what they
Heat.
said.
Go for it.
First quarter money line. Celtics in trouble?
Did they win the first
Yeah.
quarter? All right. So yeah, Mel Kiper, obviously, historically wrong, but we'll go through at least the top 10. Ace, obviously, your Patriots picking 3rd overall. First overall, the unanimous Caleb Williams going number 1. Jada McDaniels 2 to the Commanders. They have your Patriots selecting Drake May. Arizona Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr. They have the Minnesota Vikings trading up to select J.J. McCarthy from the L.A. Chargers in that spot. The Giants get Malik Neighbors. That's been on most boards I've seen. Titans, Joe Alt. Atlanta Falcons, Dallas Turner, the first defensive player off the board. The Alabama edge rusher. The Chicago Bears still sitting at 9 as well. Go get Roma Dunze. And the Jets lock up Brock Bowers with the 10th pick. Mackie, your Dallas Cowboys do not have a first-round pick this year. Yes, they do. 24th overall. Have them taking Tyler Guyton, and my Steelers, where are they at? Who the fuck is Graham Barton? I'm going to look this guy up. Anyone know
Who's
who that
Tyler
is?
Guyton?
I'm going to look him up after.
No, but Huff,
think I
talking
know.
about some of those top 10.
Graham Barton, guard, Duke.
Huff, talking about some of those top 10 picks you were talking about. I think there's going to be a lot of draft movement. That's why no one can really place their finger on it. I think a lot of teams are going to trade up. I even saw something today talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. being the second quarterback or wide receiver taken off the board with Neighbors going ahead of him. I don't think that's the case. I think that's cap. And
Mackie, to answer your question real quick, Tyler Guyton is a guard from Oklahoma.
Okay, we just got rid of Tyron Smith, so
Yeah.
yeah, I don't really have a good read on what the Patriots are going to do. That's why I'm excited to watch it. Wouldn't be surprised if they trade a pick. Wouldn't be surprised if they draft a quarterback because they're pigeonholed into it. And wouldn't be mad if they took the top skill player out there in Marvin Harrison Jr. So a lot of different ways the Patriots can look at this thing. But if you get the right trade, I think they should do it. But I've seen stuff that said that they have beginning laughable offers so far, so you can't really move that number 3 pick unless it's for a valid haul.
I think another one that I've seen, obviously some other trade scenarios. People are loving McCarthy to go in the top 10 now. I don't see it, but we'll see what happens there. Obviously moving down, I'm trying to see so this one has no Michael Penix in the first round. Let's see. Yeah, no, that's the only quarterbacks up top going in the first round. Let's see. The other one I heard, obviously, everyone knows the Steelers are going after receiver. I think they could still trade for Ayuk come draft night if that's an option, or draft because I don't think the Steelers are giving up that first round pick. I think they're actually going to be eyeing people are saying receiver in the first round, whether it's Brian Thomas from LSU, Keon Coleman, Florida State. There's a lot of options that the Steelers want to go with at wide receiver. Definitely, I love draft night. It's obviously takes way longer than it needs to, but yeah, it's always a good time keeping up with that.
Alrighty, jumping into the MLB here, starting out with our power rankings here for this week. Coming in at number 5, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Number 4, the Philadelphia Phillies. Number 3, the Baltimore Orioles. Number 2, Mackie, your New York Yankees. And number 1, those Atlanta Braves to wrap up this week's power rankings.
I think you said the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Did I?
I'm pretty sure.
I think you might have too. I wasn't
I
paying
wasn't
attention
100% paying attention either. That's why I
I
didn't
read
want to
so
say
many
it.
team names today. It's ridiculous.
the
All right,
Guards.
the Cleveland Guardians. Anyways, you guys get the idea. What are you guys thinking here? The power rankings here for this week. What's happening early this season and more? Ace, you want to get us rolling?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams shuffling the mix here. Those Braves are playing the best baseball in the league. I mean, they're going to keep doing their thing. I think that those Dodgers have got to pick it up a little bit. They're going to start getting healthier in their pitching staff too. Walker Buehler on the verge of return. Sheehan and Kershaw allegedly on their way back too. So maybe we'll see them jump back in. I think we definitely will. Ohtani and Betts just crushing the baseball out there. Orioles, I think, are one of the best teams in the AL. I can't wait to see them in the Yankees matchup. We got the Yankees and the Braves on the card today, both on the run line. Could take them any given night. But a lot of shuffling throughout. Your Pittsburgh Pirates falling out. Mets giving a little push here. Mets and Red Sox both near the lower end of the top 10, in my opinion. Those two teams outperforming what we expected this year. So we'll have to see how these teams keep going. Diamondbacks getting hit by the injury bug. We just saw Blake Snell go down. I think the Blue Jays and the Rays can make a little push. The Phillies as well. There's a lot of teams throughout the league we got to watch. We're still pretty early in the season, but those two top dogs in the in the Yankees and Braves will be there all season.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you said it. I don't think those top teams are going to move. Yankees and Braves are obviously the best
Always
team
could
in
pass
each
them if they
league.
beat them, I think, though, the Yankees.
I think this Yankees team is so good.
The
But
O's
yeah,
aren't even
obviously
healthy
same
yet,
record.
though. They have so many guys coming
see what
back.
comes back
They have
to
so
it.
many guys.
Is Jackson Holiday a bust?
No,
Is
no,
Jackson
no.
Holiday
He
a
just
bust?
shouldn't have been called up
jump
yet.
the gun.
He just shouldn't have been called up yet.
He's young.
Yeah, he's 22. Second
He'll
youngest
get
player
there.
in the MLB. Maybe he's younger than 22, but he's the second youngest player in the MLB by only like a couple days. So I'm not too worried about him at all. He's going to be fine. But their pitching staff is getting healthy too. I think they have 3 or 4 guys coming back into the mix. The Orioles do. So that's my team to watch out for. I know a lot of people got them pegged as a top team. I think the Guardians slip out of our rankings, but that division's brutal. Makes your NL Central look amazing if you look at the AL Central. So
NL Central, every team's over 500.
yeah, I
so.
think it's going to be that way. No one's going to be world beaters at the top of the list, but they're all going to be relevant, right?
Yeah, but you also have to play each other, so it's like if everyone's just splitting.
Yeah, but
against each other,
I
everyone's
don't
gonna
think
have
you would ever
record.
be like, oh, there's a team in that division that's scaring me the way
I guess Cardinals aren't over 500.
The
I
way-
didn't notice that. They're 11.
the way the
14.
Yankees or the Braves or the Dodgers, Orioles strike fear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I mean, the AL East is definitely the best division in baseball on paper.
Yeah,
not
NL
just
West
on
is
paper.
NL West is pretty good.
I just think it's Dodgers, and then
You think-
I think
AL
Overrated?
East is better than the NL West, in my opinion.
AL East has
Yeah.
the 2 top dogs. AL Central is supposed to, AL West is supposed to be good as well. I mean, you got the Stros who are playing terrible baseball to start the year. That's probably the biggest surprise so far this season. Then the Mariners and the Rangers are solid team.
I just think the AL West, the Angels and A's weigh them down so
yeah, I
hard.
mean,
It's
the
like,
AL East doesn't
there's bottom
have
feeders. That's like
Yeah, well, you know what's
That's
nice though?
what-
It's starting to get to that time.
Marlins, Nats, and the East,
Maybe by
the
like
NL.
mid-May, we'll see some of those bottom teams really get separated from the pack because everybody's still so congested right now. It's hard to get a
Mhm.
true read. We got a lot coming up, but teams are getting healthier, which is nice too. So we'll have some more.
And with how much hockey and playoff basketball are on, I can't even think.
Yeah,
of
Day
can't
any
baseball though.
watch
Hey,
baseball.
game
hey,
right now.
tomorrow you'll get to watch some baseball though. A lot of 1:00 games tomorrow. So that's the best part about it.
Thursday.
Saw Buccos get a nice win last night. Other than that, haven't watched baseball in about a
I
week.
see light season.
The City Connect game was pretty sick.
Alrighty, boys. Lots of good stuff there out of the MLB. Last point here we got in the show, women's WNBA here. Caitlin Clark has signed a lucrative deal with Nike, 8 years, $28 million, plus a signature shoe deal. This is the most for a female athlete in history. Under Armour and Adidas also participated in contract discussions with Clark's team in February, according to Wall Street Journal and the Athletic. Puma also showed some interest, but walked away when told the bidding would start at $3 million per year, according to the Wall Street Journal. Clark received offers of $16 million over 4 years from Under Armour, $6 million over 4 years from Adidas, with both also including a signature shoe deal. Clark earned about $3 million in NIL money at Iowa with deals she had with State Farm, Gatorade, and others. So to put that in comparison. Any thoughts on this here? Her salary of $76,000 and change or something like that, and her Nike deal going to take care of the rest of it. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I mean that's why she went pro. She wasn't going to get.
That's
that kind
why
of money
she
in an
didn't do
NIL deal.
that big 3 league either.
Yeah,
She was getting $15 million
I don't
from the
know.
Big Three League over 2 years.
3 years. Don't start.
No,
cutting
it
the
wasn't. It
deal.
was 2. because it was $5 million per year, and there was like a $5 million bonus where it's like part ownership of it or something. Not cutting shit.
I still think she's making more
No,
money.
I mean she's better off. She's going the right route. You're going to the WNBA, make your money off your
Tossing
shoe
off stuff.
deals.
Yeah,
but,
that should have been penalty.
it just would have been cool. I mean, I'm not saying it would have been the right thing to do, but imagine she was going to the Big 3 league. That would have been fucking awesome.
Revo dummy Zaka. No, yeah, no. I was surprised. Like, obviously, like Puma pulls out at $3 million. Dude, she's definitely worth $3 million. Her name has made so much money in the past year.
Bro,
I
I
mean,
saw
$3 million
something-
is what she made at Iowa.
I saw something where like somebody offered her like $8 million, and she like didn't even talk to them again. Like she was.
The one that surprised me, Adidas must think they're like, oh, we're Adidas. We have way bigger athletes than Caitlin Clark, and like Nike, believe me, Nike has way bigger athletes. And the Adidas deal was like 4 years, $6 million.
Yeah, that's what it was. She like wouldn't talk to them again, no matter what.
She was like, fuck you. I'd do the same shit. I'd be like, dude, I'll go to fucking Skechers if Skechers is going to pay me $6 million a year. Like, I don't give a fuck what the logo is. Whoever's paying the bills, like, she's making $76,000 a year. You knew she was going to go to whoever the highest bidder was for this shoe deal. And she gets a signature shoe. Like, it's Nike. Everyone wants to be a Nike athlete growing up. Like, if you always want to be an Adidas or Under Armour athlete, you're weird. If you played any sport, everyone's always like, Nike sponsorship, that's when you know you made it. Even golf, like Scotty Scheffler. Best guys wear Nike. Tiger, LeBron.
Yep. Trumps.
Alrighty, boys. I think that's just about everything we got here this week. Anything else to add before we get on out of here?
I think that's it. Yeah. NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs heating up. We've been pretty good on the card so far. Don't know the exact record. Hit a nice 2-unit play on Mackey's Rangers in game 1. Couldn't cover for us in game 2. Obviously, great games going on out west, NBA as well. Yeah, make sure you're tuning in, giving out picks every night. Make sure you're staying tuned to the social medias as well. Other than that, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week.